What's up, fam? Elijah Shidler here. Welcome back to another episode of EXTOL WE, and this week, Josh is my extra and I am the ordinary. The videos that went live this last week are Loving Like Jesus, and it's connected to a video 3.5 years ago in the past called Striving versus Straining. I don't know about any of you guys with your iPhones, but here recently, it keeps popping up. Update your phone. It's time for an update. Update your phone. It's time for an update. I always hit not now, and then when it pops back up, says enter your code to install it later while your phone is on sleep. I'm like, duh, yeah, I see what you're doing there. I hit the button under that says, no thanks, later. But then as I open my phone and I open up the settings, as soon as I open up settings, it takes me right to the update and says update to 18 point whatever. And I have to back out of that screen and ignore it in order to get to the settings to do the things that I want my phone to do. Now, within the concept of Apple's production of their product, obviously they're building in an added obsolescence to their phones that if you update the software long enough on the hardware of your phone gets so incredibly slow that it's not working right. And you just have to buy a new phone. And regardless of whether or not you agree with their business model, I think it's a beautiful analogy in how our lives with Christ move forward. In the video, Loving Like Jesus, I point out how Jesus answers the question, what is the greatest law in all of the law and prophets moving backwards? Jesus answers that question out of that context. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. That is the greatest commandment in all of the law and the prophets looking backwards. But that then Jesus gives us a software update. He says to all of humanity, this is the update. It's the new command, and I tell you, love one another as I have loved you. Now, as I press into in greater depth in Loving Like Jesus, what Jesus is truly saying is love one another with the love with which God loves God with. Now, there's so many of us that see that update and we're like, no, back out of that. I don't want to be confronted with uploading that software because there's no way in heck I can do what you're asking me to do. If I try to love others like God loves God, nope, it's going to cause my life to crash and I can't do it. So I'm staying on the old software system of love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor like yourself. That's where the correlation comes as well in striving versus straining, that as we allow the hardware of our bodies to be transformed, that Jesus, through his death, established a new humanity within himself. And that as we receive the righteousness in the life of Christ, behold, all things are made new, and we're given the hardware that's able to run the software of Jesus's commands. Whereas the commands of the law were very, very, very difficult, the commands of Jesus's grace are absolutely impossible, and they will crush you. This is where my friend Josh so encourages me. There's a question that I've been asking recently is, if people were to imitate the example of your life, what would be the effect on their success and their ability to serve others better? The admonition is that we're to imitate our Father as dearly beloved children. That as we imitate the life of our Father through Jesus, the result is that not only will we do the works of Jesus by his declaration, but that we will also do greater works still. The beauty of this principle is that as Jesus served to please the Father's heart in everything and left nothing undone in his life, that as he gifted us the inheritance of his full success on earth, the seed money of his completed works to us said, you will do everything that I've been doing. The beauty of that is that it created multiplied opportunity, at least a multiplied opportunity for an excess of success over and above the example of Jesus's life. That's how my friend Josh then serves to encourage me. The example of his life in his business and his family and how he goes about life is that he's constantly moving forward to confront himself. Am I living the very best way that I can in my family? And am I doing the very best that I can in business to maximize the profits and the exertion of my labor? I'm so honored then, as he asks these deep questions, that he calls me to run these ideas past me and say, Elijah, I've been thinking about this and my approach to business and how I work things through. And I'm not sure if I'm being the most wise in this to maximize my profits. What do you think about that? I am always so blessed in that I get to receive as a first work the overflow of his process in getting better. That those then come to me to help my business be better, help me be better as a man, as a husband, as a father. And the beauty of that then is that those things come to me as a gift that I don't have to strive and strain for, but that I just get to receive as a free gift that helps make my life better. It's so beautiful then as I consider these things from the context of Jesus in our lives as his bride. If you consider the seed money that Jesus places in our life through the declaration of "You are my righteousness, I have made you holy and pure, and I'm gifting you the full success of my life so that you can produce greater," is perfectly represented in the experience of our lives in marriage as husbands and wives. If you think about a husband, that he takes the seed of his genetics, one seed invested in his wife, causes her genetics to match his investment of genetics 1-to-1. I see your investment of chromosomes and I match your investment with my chromosomes. And that in that merge, in that marriage, in that unity of expression of personhood, the beauty is that the wife's ability to respond in her husband's authorability explodes, and that she within herself multiplies her husband's one investment of seed money 100 billion times on his investment, and takes something that is just a seed and returns it to him as a sentient human being. That's so incredibly beautiful. Now, within that context, though, wives do not strive and strain in creating this increase, this multiplied success and return on their husband's investment. They relax back. They can sit on a sofa and they eat carrots and they drink water and they watch some reruns of Friends and take naps. And while they're doing that, that their body is expressing the multiplied expression of the return on their husband's investment, just as a result of receiving it as a free gift. Within that, though, they're not just sitting back and sucking on their gums and doing nothing. It's a lot of labor, but they're not striving, they're not straining, they're just laboring within the responsibility that they've received under their husband's authority. And the very same thing is true in our lives with Christ, my friends, that as Christ's word comes to us with this update, this new updated version, update this software, new command I give you, love others as I have loved with you, which is the love with which God has loved God with. And that confrontation of his updated software comes and confronts our fallen hardware. There's an invitation to say, I'm going to go all in and surrender on receiving the life that you have, because as I receive the life that you have into myself, that its transformation of my person is going to be able to empower me to receive this updated upgrade, which is way better than loving people like I love myself, because I very often beat the hell into myself and then hand that to other people. Not sure about you, but the most critical voice that I have in my life is my own thoughts and feelings towards myself. So booting that out, no longer loving my neighbor as I love myself, which can be pretty crappy sometimes, but loving my neighbor in the same way with which Jesus loved me, which was the love with which the Father loved him, and that he loved the Father, which was God loves God with. Watch the linked video. Saying yes to Jesus's updated software, together with the gifted inheritance of his updated hardware, leads to an excess of thriving resources with which to thrive in your own life and have more than enough resources to impart grace to people in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the other ends of the earth. Fam. So if you subscribe to what I'm doing, then hit the button, hit it, and then get it. Hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content. And if you love this video, you didn't just like it, hit the thumbs down button. Pray blessings on all of our lives together. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video.